What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy and welcome back to the channel. And it's been a minute since we've done one of these videos, but for the most of you guys that have been on the channel for a while know that I own a luxury car rental business. So we do have some awesome cars that we rent out. Of course, if you're ever in the Asheville area, definitely hit me up and I'll hook you guys up. With owning a car rental business, especially luxury, you do have a lot of stories to tell as well. And most of them are pretty wild. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's usually a big story. And in this case, we're going to talk about my 2015 Audi R8 V10 that we had for a little while. So you know that gut feeling that a lot of people talk about? Well, in the car rental business, honestly, that feeling always pans out, and you need to listen to it. You need to understand it, because in most cases it's right. Like the feeling of like, hey, something's gonna go wrong in this rental usually ends up happening, to be honest with you guys. Anyways, in this story, my R8 was wrapped without my permission, because I would have never allowed that in the first place. And by the way, for anybody that's new to the channel, if you clicked on this video because of the story, I have a lot more of those coming. But the main focus of this channel is to build 1,000 horsepower cars like this 2021 Audi RS6 that we just picked up that we're going to be building. We do have an F-150 truck that's 1,000 horsepower, or when we get it back, and then we have a Durango Hellcat as well, and a few other cars coming. So there's a lot happening on this channel. We have a lot of fun in every video. So if you don't mind, click that subscribe button, and of course a like. That would mean a lot for the YouTube algorithm and help our little channel grow. But let's get this video going. All right, so the first thing I want to say is when it comes to renting out vehicles through us, it's a super easy process. Even if it's for a Range Rover or a Yukon or BMW, it doesn't matter. There is a security deposit, and then you pretty much on your way, do whatever you want. For the R8 V10 and of course the C706, there's a little bit more stipulations. Of course, the age restriction and a bigger security deposit because the cars are over $100,000. The R8 for one-day rental was, I think, like $700 or $800. Plus, you only got 100 miles per day. Anything over that was like $10 to $15 that you would pay per mile. So it was really expensive to rent that car, but again, that was done to honestly weed out the people that quite honestly couldn't afford it, and you know, the ones that are just using money that they don't have. So we wanted to get the people that, hey, you know, we feel confident that if they do rent this car, we're not going to have issues with. It was on a Sunday. I don't remember the exact date. It was about 3 to 4 months ago. He hit us up. We got the rental going. It was a one-day rental, I want to say. So I think it started Sunday morning and it was going to end on Sunday evening or night. The guy was super cool. He even said like, hey man, I'm actually going from Asheville to Johnson City or Bristol, that area, Tennessee, which is probably 100 miles just one way. So he was like, hey, I know I'm going to go over the miles. Not a big deal, just got to get the car for the day, man. I want to have fun. I was like, awesome, not a problem at all. So everything was going legit, you know, as the date was getting closer and closer. You know, there's a few things, like I said, the gut feeling, but then also when he started asking like questions that kind of like, it doesn't really matter about the rental part of it. There should be no reason for you to ask. But he hit me up randomly and was like, hey man, just want to find out, is the car wrapped? I was like, what? I mean, why? Why does that even matter? But no, it's not. It does have a paint protection film all across. Like the whole car was covered in a film, which was to protect it from rock chips and stuff like that, or when the car got rear-ended by something else in the previous video. So if you want to click on the video down below where the C706 got impounded and test driven or had joyridden by cops and the R8 got hit, click on the video down below. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, it just has paint protection film all across, so you know, you don't have to worry about rock chips or anything like that. And he was like, all right, cool. So the day comes, right? It's a Sunday morning. I meet him at the hotel. It was him and his buddy. You know, I always, when I drop the cars off, I'm very professional, but at the same time, I do kind of want to figure out what you're going to be doing with my car, especially if you're going to tell me you're taking out of the state. Not that we care, because we have multiple trackers on every vehicle. And so I started talking to him. Really cool dude. His story was that they are going to be actually filming some sort of video in this one day at the Bristol Motor Speedway for Motor Trend, the big channel that everybody knows. I watch a bunch of their different shows on there. I love that channel. It's all about cars, and that's literally what I live and breathe. So I was like, oh dude, what? That's so cool, man. I get to see my R8 on TV. I was like, yeah man, they just told us, you know, find really nice cars and I'll bring it there, and they're gonna do some sort of video. We have no idea what the video is all about. They were just told to bring a car, and that's it. They were like, yeah, so we're getting your R8, and I guess they're bringing a Viper or something like that, and they just told us to meet at this location, and something's gonna happen. We don't know. But anyways, I was like, all right, cool. I played it off. I'm super hyped at this point because my car's gonna be on TV. So he's about to take off, and I was like, hey man, why don't you hop in? I'll go over how to, you know, shift gears and stuff like that, because it doesn't have a parking gear in the R8s. It's all neutral and then the parking brake. He was like, oh dude, no man, I actually have a Huracan that I own, so yeah, I know all about that. I was like, that makes no sense. Why would you take an R8, a Gen 1 R8 over your Huracan, you know, and do the video with that one? But anyways, I didn't ask him. I probably should have, but it's kind of starting to throw me off, right? But at this point, it's a little too late because, well, we've already spent all this time talking. He's already paid for everything, and quite honestly, I don't have a real reason not to let him have the car. So gave him the keys. His buddy jumped into a small little, like not a Sprinter van, but like a little Ford, I don't know what they're called, box truck looking thing. My wife picks me up, and, you know, we're driving and start talking. You know, I was like, hey, something's not adding up. I was like, that makes no sense. It's going to be on a TV show, which is awesome. I love watching Motor Trend. But how are they not going to tell you what it's about, but tell you to spend the money to get a car, unless they're paying for it? But they weren't, because he paid. So a lot of things weren't adding up. So we get home. And of course, my wife, being the best investigator, like she needs to be hired by the FBI ever, because all she did was type in his name, I think on somewhere, Facebook or Instagram, literally found the dude. And then, of course, he posted a story. And that story was with my R8. Well, first off, driving my R8, which was cool. I was like, oh snap, that's awesome. I actually added him as a friend. We're friends right now on Instagram, funny enough. Was driving the car, then the next story, he's showing them filming the car next to a Viper, but like a whole side of my car is actually wrapped in purple or something like that. And on his Instagram, he's actually an owner of one of the big wrapping companies, I think out of somewhere in Georgia, so I don't want to go too detailed into it. But they literally wrapped, like, I think it was the fender, a piece of the hood, and they were like doing a TV, you know, show about it, I guess, about his company, about wrapping cars. What? What the fuck? You know, it's all right. They're not driving, at least, because you're talking about Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm thinking you'll be on the track, you know, hauling butt on it. Not that I really care. I'd love for somebody to enjoy these high-performance cars. But when you start wrapping someone's car, you definitely need to get permission to do so, because even though it's got paint protection film, if you're putting any film over it, it's not good, because you can peel both off at the same time. Of course, looking through his Instagram, there was also, you can see that he owns a Huracan, but his is wrapped as well. So I'm guessing the story is you can't wrap a car that's already wrapped. So that's why he didn't bring his. They did the whole TV show. He brought the car back. Everything was cool. I wish that, you know, you would have said something, you know, like this is not something that you want to, you know, lie about, of course, because literally I would say about 70 to 80% of the renters that we have, they always lie about something. They don't tell the whole story. It's not just us, it's always like that. I mean, I don't know who in the right mind doesn't think that there will be trackers on the cars, but like one we have out right now, honestly, is a BMW, where the gentleman said that he is going to the Blue Ridge Parkway and he wants to get an early start, so he wanted the car a little bit earlier than what was reserved for, and he'll bring it right back. Well, this dude is already by the beach pretty much, so he's nowhere near Blue Ridge Parkway. So it's like, why? Just tell the truth, you know? So he brought the car back, everything's cool. Of course, I haven't seen the TV show yet, so if you guys see it, definitely maybe comment or send me a link or something. I would love to see my car on there and see what it was all about. I don't know what they were talking about. I didn't really have it, but so when he brought the car back, of course, he just dropped off the key, said car was amazing, we had a lot of fun, I'll pay you over on the mileage, and the little van was still with them as well. So I'm guessing the van had all the wrapping equipment or whatever it takes to do that job, and I think the Viper was a little bit wrapped as well. I don't know whose Viper that was, but yeah, that's the story of my 2015 Audi R8 that got wrapped and used for, you know, reasons I didn't really approve of, or not really would have approved of in the first place, because you don't really want to wrap a car like that. I've heard of rental cars being taken to different shops where they take them apart just to fit like new body parts that a company's designing. Like there's Teslas, I think it's on Facebook or somewhere, where the guy found them, literally had his bumpers off, everything's off on this car, and they were test fitting some new bumper styles on there. Not that they damaged this car or anything, but it's like, it's not what that's designed to be used for, honestly. Especially taking car parts off or wrapping cars or doing anything that's, you know, cosmetic. They're designed to be rented to have fun, to drive on the mountains, to, you know, put up a little bit of speed and enjoy a car that typically you don't own. or get to drive every day. So yeah, guys, that's the story. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of these kind of stories, some are going to be short, some are going to be long, drop a like and comment. Let me know what you want to hear about next. Car rental business is great, but of course it comes with a lot of nightmares sometimes. I would say 1 out of every 100 rentals is an issue of some sort, but that is the sad part of owning a car rental business. So it's a little stressful for me, but really good stories for you